YouTube, how the hell are you? Scarpad from Scarpad Domain with another Monday night sojourn for you where we stray into the weird and the sci-fi. And tonight, we're bringing you a 2009 movie from Duncan Jones, the director who's the son of, you got it, uh, I blew it, David Bowie. I almost said Davy Jones of the Monkees. No, he's not that David Jones. So Duncan Jones, it was his first film, 2009, starring Sam Rockwell. You know, we start off on this movie, everything's kind of effed up on Earth, but things get better because they have a new energy source, fusion energy, and things are looking rosy. People are going to the moon, you know, putting in their 3-year shifts and then flying away with all their money. Well, they think that's what's happening, but that's not exactly what's happening. And of course, the man is always sticking it to the workers. Don't we know that? No one knows that better than my first panelist, Dylan from Dylan's Horror Show.
What's
He knows,
up,
all,
brother?
he knows all about the man, sticking it to you at work. That's what happens, man.
Oh man, you know it.
You know it.
Gotta get me that customer service from home job, man.
That's right, man. Stephanie. I don't know why I call you Stephanie again. I wasn't doing a girl named Stephanie. Steph, how you doing? You're muted, man.
I'm muted, but I'm good. What's going on? I was gonna say we got to turn that into a running bit. Stephanie.
Stephanie, baby, how you doing?
Great. I'm excited to talk about this movie. This was another great one.
It was a great one. Let me tell you a little story though. So I think Dylan will probably tell you his version of the same story. So of course I watched this after I had a dinner the other night. I'm sitting down in my easy chair and I had to watch this twice. I had to pull a Vernal, actually about 1.5 times. But halfway through it, I'm going, this is real interesting. But man, I'm not. What the fuck is going on? I was kind of like out of it or something. It wasn't wasn't this that was causing that. So I said, now I gotta watch this movie. And I gotta pay attention. I gotta sit up straight and watch it. I did, and man, I tell you, I love this movie. This movie tells a story that is a typical kind of indie movie where you're going to get more story than, you know, blowing up stuff. It's a slow boil, but it tells a really interesting story. That's a mystery that starts off where you have these guys going into space to harvest this ore for 3 years. They're signing in, kind of like what we saw in Alien and so forth. They're doing their time, and then something's messed up. You know, what's going on here? The guy got cloned. You know, and to discover the whole thing, of course, is the company finds out that, you know, it's cheaper to invest in these people once, and then when they're there, they make a clone. Unbeknownst to them, they're making a clone of them. They make 5 clones. The ones that we see in the movie is the character. What was the character's name again? I can't even remember.
Sam.
That.
It was Sam.
It was Sam.
Yeah.
So it was Sam 4 and Sam 5. So it all worked out. These are 3. The clones only lived 3 years, and that's what was happening to the Sam number 4. Is he was deteriorating, he was dying, because it was the end of his tour. They woke up the new one to go rescue the one that was out there, because, you know, they had to bring him back, and he was dying, and then they find out this whole thing is going on where they're the 4th and 5th copies of this guy, and this guy is already home. He's home with his daughter.
That's the real original version.
That's the original one. Is already home. Okay. He doesn't know anything about this because he didn't know he was cloned, and the daughter's seeing a different version. This guy's all messed up. Yeah, it was such an interesting story, and then this whole thing where we get both copies. They're blocking the signal. It can't get out. One copy disables that. The other one finds out that they're actually nuking these people and burning them up, burning the clones up when they tell them they're going to be going home. It was such an interesting story. This is my first watching it. First time ever. I've never seen it before. I always wanted to, and never did.
Yeah.
But I immensely enjoyed this whole story. I mean, and then we get, what we could get is a HAL type robot from 2001, voiced by Kevin Spacey. You expect him to be like the big bad, robot. He actually isn't. He's there to look after the people, and he actually helps them. So I really enjoyed the story. Was this your first time, Steph, seeing this, or?
This was probably like my sixth time. I was in the back chat.
That we haven't, man.
Sci-Fi is I'm a little.
Who's the movie genius here? Or like now you're throwing me and Scarpad up, man. I'm loving it, dude. I'm loving being on this side of the spectrum.
But I had seen this back in like 2010. Like I was telling you in the back chats, I didn't even know it came out to theaters in 2009. Like it was it's crazy that you said it made 10K.
It cost $5 million. It made $5,010,000 in the States, and the rest of it's $4.5 million overseas.
But so it made
like almost like a little bit under 10 million.
That's but that's
it's an indie film. It was probably screened at very small theaters. Didn't go to wide release.
Film.
And then the
first time too.
Not a lot in Hollywood,
Yeah,
especially in 2009.
Yeah. And it's true. It's great too because he was a big believer in mixing the practical effects with the computer effects. So we got a lot of practical model works in this movie, which you don't see nowadays anymore. So
no, everything's that was fucking CGI.
But go ahead, Steph.
Oh no, I'd seen this in 2010, around there, and I think that's the year I'd seen, because it took me a few years to see Sunshine, but I remember I kind of saw this and Sunshine within like the same vicinity of time, and I had the same effect as you the first time. Like I was like, it's good, but I didn't really know what was going on. But this is like a film to me that upon multiple viewings, you're always catching something else, and it just gets that much better. Like to think that it's just Sam Rockwell for Sam Rockwell is the only person we really see for the most of the movie.
Yeah, his performance blew me away because it's hard to make a movie where you're acting with yourself or with somebody playing you. I'm sure they did have a guy standing in from
oh yeah.
So it's not like he's not like he's acting against a green screen or something, but it's still hard to do. It's still hard. And I tell you, he pulled off two distinctive personalities, even though it's the same guy.
Oh yeah. That's something that caught my eye. I wrote that Sam 5's anger towards Sam 4 is because when they first meet, he's like, no, how do you know you're the clone? It's because they both kind of knew what was up, but he was like, he's pretty much, they understood that the older clone had lived his life and he was pretty much on the way out, while he was just kind of born and had all these fake ass memories. So he was just really bitter towards the entire encounter.
I think for a short time they did. I think one of them kind of thought the other one was the original until they found the room. I think he still thought that the other guy may have been the real one.
I mean, that could be the case. I didn't really pick up on. I kind of thought they were both like aware of the situation because towards the end they had like the role reversal where older Sam is kind of, as he's deteriorating, he's still joking around and shit, but he's kind of like becoming sour towards the situation. He's dying, understandable. And then you saw the younger Sam starting to be more nurturing and trying to take care of him, kind of like the beginning when the older Sam was trying to like, make jokes about the situation. He's like, can we shake hands? And younger Sam's like, fuck that. But that, this whole movie, it's a cool concept for what it is, but it really lies on Sam Rockwell's performance, and this was probably, it's up there for one of his best performances, if not his best performance.
Yeah, I don't know for me if it kills Confession of a Dangerous Mind. I love that movie, a great one. And I love him in that movie. So that's probably still my favorite one. But that's why I think I had to stop. Is like, because if they were clones and at that point in the movie didn't know that, how could they rescue the original guy that broke down? He was out there for like a week. And it was frozen, and they still brought him back to life.
I don't know how long he was out there, but this younger Sam, for whatever reason, he remember he walked in on Gertie having that conversation when he was just waking up. Oh, and by the way, before I get into that was a great transition scene where older Sam crashes, and then they cut to the scene of Sam waking up, so you assume it's the same Sam, but it was just the clone waking up. That's brilliant editing. Yeah. But Sam knew something was up when he heard Gertie talking to someone, and he knew he heard someone, but Gertie lied to him, so he was like, okay. what's going on. And he was like looking at one of the rovers or the machines, and he knew one was unoperable for whatever. I got him go back and watch that, but that's when he decided to like try to, because Gertie wouldn't let him go out, so he like created that little diversion to allow him to do that. But
so Dylan, was this your first? This was your first showing, right? First viewing.
Yep, first time.
So your thoughts watching it?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I was lightweight, a little confused at first. So then I did the same thing Scarpad did and like restarted it halfway through because I was watching it, and then I was like, girlfriend, fiance's coming in and out the house, and I was like trying to really focus, and I was like, this is one I gotta really focus on. And I even restarting it halfway through, I still would like to, after watching like 5 explained videos, I still would like to watch it again, just to like, because you guys telling all this stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. Like there's a lot I feel like I still kind of like wasn't picking up on. Like,
I would definitely watch this again.
I definitely need to go watch again.
That's one of those movies where it's like all the details and shit are like little shit they do throughout the movies in the background. It's not something they, super expository where they're like delivering it verbatim.
At first, I thought like he was tripping out and like all this was an hallucination. Like, him like seeing, like, you know what I'm saying, like.
That's what I thought the movie was about. I thought the movie. I had no idea this movie was about clones. I really thought the movie. I thought the movie was kind of like an Event Horizon where the guy was just like up there,
isolated, and
3 years isolated, and he's going nuts.
That's exactly what I thought too. Because then you get that scene where like he sees the chick
sitting in the chair. Yeah.
And the music goes like kind of dark with it, and I was like, is this gonna have like some like real darkest like tones to it? You know what I mean? And like he's just gonna go absolutely apeshit. But then, obviously, you see, like, once I picked up that it was like, I didn't really figure that it was clones until they find the secret hatch. That was when I was like, oh, okay, these are clones. This isn't like him. Like the whole time I was like, is he talking to himself the whole time, thinking like he's just gone bonkers, But I tell you, man, like first time director, man, and I think that film was just beautifully shot though, man. Like the aesthetics of it are just absolutely when they're driving, when he's driving through on the moon and everything, when he's outside, just all those shots of like the car and the moon, all the space shots were just absolutely gorgeous. I love Sam Rockwell. Like anything he's in, I'll give it a shot. I mean, I feel like there's a few things I gotta go check up on, man. Like
but this will blow you away. All right, so Sam Rockwell's first screen credit for a movie. Oh, sorry. I apologize, guys. But his first screen credit for a film ever was a horror movie called Clown House by Victor Salva, director of Jeepers Creepers.
Swear to God, Clown House, huh? To look into that one.
So wow,
dude,
man, you got to work with Victor Salva. Rockwell got to work with Victor Salva and Kevin Spacey.
Oh my God, poor guy, poor guy.
What's going on there?
I mean, I haven't seen him in a while, man. Maybe they fucked his career up a bit. I love him though. I love like his he's kind of got like, well, he was in the Poltergeist remake as well, which I actually kind of, that movie's not like, Steph, you saw the Poltergeist remake with him in it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Dude,
Sam Rockwell is?
Yeah, Sam Rockwell's in the Poltergeist remake. It's not the greatest, but I give it a pass just because it's Sam Rockwell. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
But, I've always loved anything he does, like Seven Psycho. I think he's just got so much range where like he could be a complete. That's another thing. Watching this too, I was like knowing some of the like the range he can do. Where a lot of times he does play the villain at times.
Yeah.
Like, is he gonna play like some like just
some sinister,
like
fucked up dude? Yeah.
His fucking rocker in this,
But when he's crying and he just wants to go home, man, you have real feelings for the guy and the shit he went through.
Yeah.
And he managed to still keep the movie. The movie was still a very upbeat movie. It wasn't down. These guys knew the situation. And then the ending I thought was great. But before we get into some of that, let's just acknowledge who's here. Two Gun. Hey, how's it going, Two Gun?
What up, brother?
Coming in, man.
Bro.
Pew pew.
We got road collecting in the house. Stations, everybody. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, what up?
Yeah, I just I thought they just nailed that the whole part. And then I'll give a shout out. We were just making a joke about Victor Salva and Kevin Spacey being in being in Sam Rockwell's.
He's in Green Mile too.
But I'll shout out to Kevin Spacey. Did a great job as the robot too. I thought he did a fantastic job. They gave him a great personality. Those faces, the smiley face, the frowny, the crying face when he was feeling.
Oh yeah, the emojis and shit. Yeah,
the emojis. Yeah.
My god! You know though that he wasn't like that. They filmed all that or they recorded it all after. Sam Rockwell was not speaking to Kevin Spacey.
Well, no, I know that they said that Kevin Spacey had to ask. This was back when he was being choosy, before he could, when he could get parts.
When he could pick roles.
He asked to see the entire movie, so they showed it to him because it was all rough cut and it was all finished, and he liked it so much. He said, "Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do the part." So it was definitely an after thing. Yeah,
dude, I'm telling you, thank you so much for showing me that clown house because that actually looks kind of cool, man.
Really, I haven't seen it yet.
It looks really this is the cover for it.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
Okay.
And then, we'll have to see. You can't really see because it's blurry, but that's the trailer. I don't even want to watch the trailer because I don't want it to look crappy and ruin it. I just want to put it on.
What is that? Is that on Shudder?
Sam Rockwell's in it too.
Is that on Shudder?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look.
Yeah.
That's just IMDb. I wanted to look through. It says you could search it on Amazon, but I'm looking through all the stuff he did. I always forget, just Sam Rockwell is just such an incredible actor, man.
He's underrated talent.
Very underrated, man.
I think it was Galaxy Quest. That wasn't his first movie, was it?
No, that in 1999 was the year he started to make a come up because he did that in Green Mile, and after that he was just a name.
I mean, dude, he has 108 credits here for.
Yeah, he has a ton of.
He's still. He's probably 50 at most. I'd say he might be in 40s.
He's early 50s,
early 50s.
68.
Guys, man, that kind of has always
looks younger.
Same, yeah.
Because I swear to you, it's funny you said that because I remember I was thinking about when I saw him in high school and some shit like Matchstick Man. I was like, I thought he was 40 back then, and now he's past that. He still kind of just looks 40.
Holy crap! I would not believe that, man.
Well, I think it's definitely too bad that the awards don't really look at these type of movies because Sam Rockwell deserved an award for this. He was really good.
Absolutely,
really, really good.
The movies like this are the best, where there's just isolation. He's doing everything by himself, he acting back and forth to himself.
Right.
That is hard,
It's not easy to do, and especially when you got characters. You're the same guy, but with different emotions, different different lives,
And it's hard to make something interesting when it's because I love Tom Hardy, I love Ryan Reynolds, but they've both done isolated. Ryan Reynolds did Barry. That's not a bad movie, but I didn't really enjoy it as much as Moon. Tom Hardy did a movie where he's just kind of driving in the car the whole time and he's going through personal shit.
Oh yeah, I didn't like that one.
It was it wasn't bad, but that's what I'm saying. It's hard to pull off a movie where it's just one dude on the screen the whole time and to make it engaging and want you to finish the movie like Moon did. That's a rare thing, man.
It keeps you intrigued because you're like, what? Yep. You just want to know what the hell is going on. Locke. That's the
Locke,
one.
yes. Yes.
What was the one you said Ryan Reynolds did? Buried?
Buried, yeah.
Oh, Buried.
I remember Buried, in the casket, yeah. That wasn't a bad film.
I don't know if I've seen that, dude.
And we had Benedict Wong in there too, the guy from the
and the computer screen. He was one of the owners and shit.
So and if we're talking, we're gonna move on and start talking about the cinematography and music. I tell you, the music for this movie, I really enjoyed the music for this movie.
Yeah. I actually paid attention.
The main theme was actually done by somebody else, Ben Wisdale, and then somebody else the actual theme. But I like the whole thing. But the main theme and the end theme, really, really good. Really.
Oh, beautiful.
Really,
there was
emotional and really fit the movie really well for what was going on.
Yeah. There was that scene where he's older Sam is looking at those pictures of this is right before he decides to give up. Tell younger Sam hey, you should go back. And it's it was doing like the shot from like them driving on the rover to the moon base, and then it flashed to him like looking at the pictures. But in between that, like from the moon base to the transition from the moon base to the Sam looking at the pictures, there's like these heavy drums and like a guitar going on or something like that. But there's this faint piano sound in the background. But as soon as it just hit to like Sam looking at the pictures, it was just playing the piano note, and it just fucking perfect. Like, you said, who did the score for this?
The main score was like a Benjamin Whifsedale, and then the other score was a bunch of, there was a lot of people involved in it.
Composers Clint Mansell.
Clint Mansell, yeah, it was the main composer. But he didn't do the main theme or the end theme. I think it was done by somebody else.
Said he did Black Swan, man.
Yeah.
No way.
Remember how big that movie was? Black Swan, Natalie Portman, and
Mila Kunis, baby. Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the music, and we said before the cinematography in this movie, just the outer space stuff, the stuff at the space station. Those sets were made to look like, I'm sure they only had like 4 or 5 different sets, but it gave you the illusion that they were at a big base like that. And then just the driving scenes where he's following that tractor.
It felt real.
All this stuff. It just felt really good. As opposed like another movie that's the ridiculous version of this that came out earlier this year was that Moonfall. I don't know if you watched Moonfall. Where they're all chasing,
those are like guilty pleasures, bro.
They're chasing the guy in the moon buggy on the moon. They're having that big action scene on the moon and moon buggies. This was the more realistic version of that, you know.
Yeah.
But I thought they did a good job there. But just going back, I think this whole movie was the acting and just the set pieces. I love probably. Favorite scene, I can tell you right now, my favorite scene in the whole movie is that scene where Sam Rockwell is really this first confrontation with his other self there when he comes in and he's dancing and he's got the Katrina and the Waves song. They turn it up and the guy throws it. That was a great scene. I mean, that was typical Sam Rockwell. And he performed both sides of that so well. You know, that's my favorite scene, I think, in the whole movie. And then just the stuff where he's talking to his daughter, and he figures out that the other guy is him. He could hear by the voice because it was Sam Rockwell's voice, and the fact that this guy, his wife died like while he was away. Well, he wasn't away, but to him he was away. So it's just sad that the government. That's the level of the story, that it was kind of a conspiracy story where
I heard that there's like a little short film too of him like when he gets to Earth. When I was watching some video,
this guy wants to do a sequel that's kind of like a not a direct sequel, but it's going to be like an offshoot on what's happening on Earth at this time.
Oh, okay.
And then it will talk about what happened after this guy got back.
I thought
but I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Filmed, man, because when I was watching an explained video, it like showed like a snippet of like him, like 2 of him sitting in a courtroom or something.
Yeah, I don't know if they actually filmed that or not, and it just was cut because they had the ending. They talked about it.
Oh, really?
But
I wonder if on the Blu-ray if there's like any special features or anything.
But man, even that was 2009, but even that fit with today because you're hearing that voiceover. This guy's going and they, oh no, he's a stooge for the guy. He's an FBI. He's this stooge for the shit that would happen now with the guys trying to help.
That's like a realistic approach they would take with cloning, because you shit like The Island, and it's like it begs the question, like, or even a show like Severance, it's like you create what constitute as another living being, like
I mean, this isn't a story that hasn't been tackled before. There's a lot of there's 2, 3, 4 episodes of Star Trek that deal with this directly, where they find clones, and there's a whole episode where one of the guys has it cloned. We didn't know what was going on, and the clone, it saves people, and who has the right to live and who has the right to die. So it's been done before, but it just did so well here.
I guess Jones did a movie called Mute recently.
Yeah, he just watched
it. And that's supposed to be it's like a loose follow-up of it, set in the same universe, and they show the Sam clones made. Because I was like, there's actual footage in this explained, and it shows the Sam clones made it to Earth to exploit what's going on.
Well, you kind of knew that from the end of
the.
They did this at the end of the credits. They had, or the beginning of the credits at the end of this movie. They had the voiceover of him giving testimony, but they didn't actually show it.
I didn't even see that. Fuck.
Yeah, I didn't peep that. Was it
right before the credits rolled at the very end of the movie?
Oh, I thought you said at the beginning, but yeah, at the end.
Yeah, they did. They did the voiceover where he's in court giving testimony.
That movie, Mute, is like a Netflix original.
Netflix. Yeah, it's got Paul Rudd in it and the older Skarsgård brother.
Yeah, I was gonna watch that because he said he watched. He said it was alright.
It's only a 5.4 on IMDb and a 30.
Yeah, it's definitely like it's
probably watchable.
It takes place in the same universe, but it's a different flavor. Like you wouldn't think that it's yeah.
Well, that's what more. It's like the Earth version, instead of being on the moon. So it's definitely going to be, like you said, a different type of flavor than what we're expecting. Mm-hmm. I'm sure worth a watch though. But it doesn't.
It was interesting.
So sure. I guess maybe that footage you're talking about of him in the courtroom is at the end of Moon. That's probably not even in Mute because I don't even see anything about Sam Rockwell. In Mute.
They might mention it because I haven't seen that movie since it came out. I was telling Scarpad I want to give her a rewatch for that one. That might be one we should cover for the for your domain.
Which one is that?
Mute.
Yeah, it's possible. I got things are filling up fast, but I definitely want to do. I want to do a lot more. As I said, I'm doing at least one movie a month that I haven't seen at all.
Nice.
This month it was this one, and next month it'll be another one. And then I want to definitely get to some newer stuff as well because there is some very good independent sci-fi being made right now, and independent, not as much as independent horror. I think there's definitely a lot more independent horror than there is sci-fi, but there's some good sci-fi being.
I mean, early 2000s. I mean, this is earlier 2000s, and I feel like maybe not as much. Maybe like I still think there's good independent sci-fi coming out now, but I feel like in the early 2000s, especially. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yo, there was this sci-fi movie came out last 2017 maybe. It had like Rob Pattinson in it. I think Mia Goth was in it, but they're were prisoners who were sent to either stay in prison or you go to like this spaceship near a black hole and you
isn't that something that I think that's coming out, isn't it?
No, that's it already came out.
I know Mia Goth has that one movie coming up, but I think I know what you're fucking talking about. Man.
Andre 3000 was in it. It's about pretty much all the names, but
talking about too. I can't think of the name, man. Because there's one movie that he's in where it's in space.
Yeah. And he had to raise his daughter. Like he ended up getting her pregnant and she gave birth, but got depressed. And so it's just him and his daughter for 13, 14 years. Like he raised his daughter by himself on the spaceship that was pretty much falling apart because everyone had somehow died or got killed. It was a wild movie. Depressing.
All right. So
High Life.
High Life. Yeah.
2018.
Yep.
Oh, I think I've heard of that.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've never seen this one, but I've always wanted to because I always.
It's a good watch, bro.
Huh.
Anything Pattinson, I'm down for, man. I think I've seen almost every movie of his, so I'd be down. It's got 82% on Rotten Tomatoes.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
All right, so Steph, your favorite scene, and yes, we can say it, your favorite character.
Favorite scene. There's so many good ones, but I really like the ending scene where the Sams are talking to each other. This is right before the ship gets there, and pretty much older Sam dies. They're sitting there talking about how they met. Remember meeting their wife, and it was it was just a cool scene because like I said, there's a role reversal at some point, and it was just it was a full circle. Like he put Sam back where he found him in the space shuttle, and he essentially became that Sam, where he was uptight and rigid and kind of stern at the beginning. He was now that more laid back, understanding Sam that we had, the first Sam we had met. And it was kind of almost gave me a tear when he's telling him the story, and he's looks over and he's and he kind of has a sadness in his voice when he kind of realized, dude, it kind of was passing, and there's but that was my favorite scene. It was like I said, it's hard to do a movie by yourself and to actually
Right.
evoke emotion and get certain emotions and then make the audience feel that, I feel is very, very good craft.
And your favorite character?
Oh, so many.
There's at least
I'm gonna have to
3.
go with Sam Rockwell. Yeah, Benedict Wong and
No, Kevin Spacey's robot was a character, definite.
Kevin Spacey was solid as well, but
And,
like I said,
and which
this
clone?
movie.
Which Sam Rockwell?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm gonna go with older Sam.
Sam? Yep.
I do like younger Sam's character arc, but older Sam, like I said, he kind of was getting bitter towards the end, and he pretty much became himself again. And like he's like, yo, man, I'm not gonna make it. Like he was true to the entire time he was there. He's true to himself. So
well, the sad part is this guy, he's got to realize too, he's gonna go home and he's only gonna live 3 years too, because they don't live longer than 3 years.
Maybe they got like medicine and technology, but
no, I think
true.
It was written right in their DNA.
Well, also, it's like, what is their plans? Their wife is already, taken.
Is
Passed
done,
away,
gone, right? And his daughter, he got a father, so
that was a good scene where I like that where he like switched spots because he was like, he had lived 3 years, he knew he was dying,
right.
And what's the point of him going back to Earth? He knows everything he's remembered has been a lie,
Right.
as opposed to the Sam who's been alive for 2 weeks, who can, it sucks that all his memories are fake, but he can understand. He has time to understand that it's more of it was a farce he was living under, and he can accept that and live out the rest of his 3 years a little easier than some.
Well, it's right. The thing they did the 3-year limit because that's as long as people would stay in isolation without going
crazy
and not doing the job. So Dylan, your favorite scene and your favorite character?
It would probably definitely be the original Sam, since that's the one we get like the most time with. And he's got like the most, has that spiral and everything and the downfall. But, oh man, favorite scene, that's kind of tough because,
Prisoners, Denis.
Man, favorite scene, that's a rough. I'd probably say like when he sets up for that gas line to kind of blow just so he can go outside the thing, and he's like, Gertie, he's like, come on, I gotta fix it, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I gotta, he's like, I can't permit you to go outside, and he's like, dude, we have to fix this. He's like, I promise, I'm just gonna fix it, and then that's how he ends up finding the clone though that's been
clone,
but I love how he just like kind of like he's like, I'm gonna like set this little gasket to blow just so I can go out and do what I want. Like I love.
He's like, I was always I don't like being told what to do or being something like that.
He like always plays that like he never fucking obeys shit, man. I love that about Sam Rockwell and his roles. But he's like, no machine's about to tell me what to fucking do, man. But also, I like the scene too at the end where Gertie's like kind of gives them the go for the plan. Like you could reboot me, and then I'll restart and like kind of let it go because he's really there just to protect Sam. Where usually you would think he'd be like, no, like the robot would turn on him.
Right.
Gertie was a solid character because it was like he was a robot that. Yes, it was his programming to care about them, but he was working within parameters. You could tell he was working within parameters to take care of them and still do his mission.
But he was still deceptive to keep it from him because the company told him not to divulge it. So he did maintain the lie, but he at least did care for them and afterwards,
Yeah.
Right.
And then he kind of he was deceptive with that, but then he kind of redeems himself by saying like, hey, we can reboot myself and I'll start back up once the ship takes off.
He pretty much gave him the plan to escape that shit when he didn't have to do that. Yeah. So it showed like some layers with.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with a robot that just does emoji faces. And I thought that was actually not bad, man. I was surprised by that. Because in a way, like, everything with that, with the voice actor, I was like, it was throwing like, you kind of don't want to fuck with him, but I was like, you can't deny he still
Kevin
is a good
Spacey's
actor.
good work
You know
is
what I mean?
yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean he did a good job as a robot.
He definitely did, and that's a tough role, man. Just doing the voice is perfect and everything, but that's definitely that. No matter what, that's a tough role to pull off. And
Right.
pull off like those layers, like Steph said, man. I really did kind of enjoy that, especially.
Yeah, I mean, a big
all
Hollywood
Sam
movie.
Rockwell had to really bounce off of other than
Right.
himself.
Exactly,
Facts.
about the only other thing he had, but and he didn't even have that because that was put in after the movie. But
yeah, because also the robot, Gertie's doing that to basically save. What is it, Sam number 3 or whatever?
Yeah, save his life.
The younger Sam.
Well, that's what I was just saying.
Because they're coming to kill him. The company's coming to kill him,
We talked about how this movie a little bit reminds us of 2001. The movie also reminded me of, tonight I watched, before I came on, I watched Time Cop, which was directed by Peter Hyams. Now, Peter Hyams also did the movie Outland with Sean Connery. And that movie, this movie reminded me a lot of Outland. When in Outland, which was basically just a redo of the movie High Noon, the Western High Noon, they had these assassins coming to kill Sean Connery's sheriff character because he discovered the drug dealer was dealing drugs, and this was all set on Jupiter. And through the whole movie, it's taking like, I don't know, like a month or something or a couple of weeks for these assassins who are coming in the shuttle to kill Sean Connery. Well, that kind of reminded me of this too. You had the countdown for the whole thing where the shuttle was coming from Earth, not only to fix the Land Rover thing, but they were coming to kill the clones if they had discovered, what was going on, because that was their job. So that kind of had reminding me of that movie a little bit too. But they even make those characters nefarious. They just have them going along, their own merry way. That was their job, and that's what they did.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
And they normally didn't do that. Normally they would just be engineers. They originally were doing that because in this case, they didn't get incinerated like they normally would.
Yeah.
But the clones, I was thinking to myself, don't the clones ask themselves, you have to go in hypersleep for your journey from the moon to Earth? What's that, like 2 days? 3 days? Why would you have to go in hypersleep for that, man?
No, it's 3 days. Just I guess so you wake up, you're there. But
yeah, it didn't make too much sense. But I can understand why they did that, so they'd have a reason to incinerate them. To figure that out.
Yeah, that's their foolproof plan.
So I guess overarching theme of the movie, I think the movie definitely did. I think the overarching theme was just life, regret. Here is a guy that only got to live his life in 3 years, but yet have a lifetime of memories in his head that even though he didn't live any of it, he had the regrets for all of it. Not being able to see his wife and his daughter.
Well, I wonder, was the real Sam ever up there? Because he has.
Yes, real Sam. Yes,
talking about him being up there. It's good that you're up there alone,
Well, because those were just played back by the robot. They kept those messages and played them back for him, for the clones.
Yeah.
But Sam was up there. He did his 3-year tour duty.
So
they took the DNA off.
And he's so good.
And they made 100 clones of him
up there.
No, that's not the reason. The reason why they
I thought he was like one of the best though, and they didn't want to lose him.
No, he was just the last one they had up. They had different guys. They had 10,000 clones stored up, so they must have had a lot of different people. But they take one, and then that one person is only good for 5 clones.
Yeah.
For 15 years, and then they get somebody else.
So
and this was the last
original is only good for 5 clones. Okay.
Right, but in the meantime, the original don't even know this is going on. They just think they go up there
because he says
work for 3 years and go home.
I want all this to be right. It's not fair for the next person that comes up here, So he thinks it's going to be complete,
Exactly. He thinks the next person would be coming up once he's gone.
Again, man.
It was really good, but so I think that the whole thing with regret, and also the second underlying theme was just the links that corporations will go to against people to get to make money, and which is what they were doing. I'm sure it's nice that they had clean energy on Earth. It was also probably great for them that they were the only source of it and made all the money from it. So it was just exploiting the worker, exploiting the person to make money and to do this. So that was really the second theme. But the overall theme, I think, was just love and regret and this guy's short life. So
Yeah.
Stephanie?
Theme? I would say this is about life is subjective, you know. They could have easily just given into the fact that we're clones, try to sabotage this shit, or like let's just live out our days and do our time and die. But they try to, they change things around. And it was like, just because these circumstances doesn't mean we can't change things. Like that we can take our life in our hands, whether it be 3 years, whatever. And they ended up doing that. They understood the circumstances and moved around them and altered them. So I respect that. I think it's about life being subjective. That's just a deep reach. But yeah, I definitely speaks on like corporations and the snide, the shady business dealings, that the lengths they'll go to obtain stuff and to keep things under control, and the stuff the public for every great solution, or for, let's take a iPhone. Like, how are those made in shops in other countries, like sweatshops and stuff like that? Like,
well, in this
there's
case,
always some shit.
This case, the case they're making human beings to be basically slaves.
To be slaves, yeah.
Die, so.
And that's always, there's always some shady side to, because remember they promoted at the beginning that we power almost 75% of the earth with this new unlimited energy. Not unlimited, but they made it. They were selling it to consumers like, hey, it's great for the earth, but how is it being obtained? How is it being made? And there's always some shady side.
Strip mining them in the moon there. So.
Exactly.
Hey, Dylan, your thoughts on the overall theme?
I'd say definitely man, like the 3 years, gotta man, like life is short, man, especially if you only got 3 years to live, and he kind of lived with no regrets in a way, but fuck, what was I gonna say? I totally
he lived on his own terms. Hell yeah.
Definitely. But I know a big thing, like with him being up on the moon, was supposed to be, what was he up there for? Because on the explained stuff, they were talking about how Earth.
Oh, the mining.
Yeah,
the energy source from.
Yeah, they're trying to find a new energy source, and kind of taking from, just like how taking stuff from the real world, how they're always mining oil and just getting everything they can out of the earth, and they'll go up to the moon and just try to get whatever they can out of there just for resources and everything.
Strip mining it.
Yeah, man. I mean,
just commercialize it and sell that shit. Yeah, like,
bro.
It's all about money.
Yep, everything's about money, man. And then just the clone, man. That was just a whole another ordeal, man. Where they're basically they got it. If they could get 100 Sams out of him, they probably would. You know what I mean? Where it's basically that people are expendable.
Well, they showed they had 10,000 people down there, and when they went down that deep freeze.
Exactly, and once he was no good to them, they were willing to go have him assassin. Basically, they put it like a hit on him and had a squad coming to kill him. Like.
It's like, almost like them speaking on, like, there's always going to be like slaves for some sort of workforce, whether they the illusion, like, some would say that we all work a 9 to 5, we're slaves to that shit, like, because we have to in order to survive, like we have to do what we're told and go to work and abide by these rules. And it's just different circumstances. Like, we have an illusion of freedom, just like the Sams on the moon did. They thought they were doing of their own volition, their own free will, but they were really slaves to a system.
Hell yeah, man.
Team Dog Shades.
Well said, brother.
We're gonna rate it, but I think I really like this movie because with the type of movie it was, it could have really been a more of a blow 'em up. As you said, Sam Rockwell could have revoted. Went up against the people coming to kill him, but they didn't go that route. They went the more philosophical and logical route, and that's why I like indie films, and I really enjoyed the story in this because it was something that you had to kind of watch and kind of parse out, and try to keep you confused a little bit, not confused, but just following the mystery to kind of figure out where is this going, what's going on, what's happening.
Yeah.
And I just liked it, so I'm going to give it 4.
I think it's beautiful, man.
I'm going to give it 4.25 phasers. I think it's one of the top indie science fiction movies I've seen in a while. I really enjoyed it. So, Steph?
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. It was very solid and just great performance. That concept is something we've seen before, but it was done in a very neat, confined way, intimate way, if you will, for sci-fi. I think that's cool. I'll give it 4 phasers. I want to leave room for, like I said, this is a movie that warrants multiple watches, and
yeah, definitely.
I think it's got room to grow.
It definitely won't be the last time I watch it. And it's nice too because it's not a very long movie. It's like 1 hour and 40
hour and a half.
I'd love
and that's interesting. I do have I have the 4K on it. I have the 4K.
I know it does have a 4K. I know the 4K was what I watched on Movie Pass.
Yeah, no, it has 4K release. Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
I didn't know it was a 4K Blu-ray you had. Yeah,
the special effect shots and stuff look gorgeous in 4K.
Gorgeous, man.
But I was going to say,
mixed with CGI, man, mostly practical.
That's right.
CGI is where it's at, man.
Oh, I want to say real quick that my only gripes, it's damn near perfect movie, but I feel like the whole subplot of the corporation and them, it goes from like moments of like characters, obviously just because of Sam Rockwell, but it's like these quiet character moments, and then it switches to like some I feel like the sinister plot of the corporation and the clone could have been seeded a little bit better. That's why I say a 4.
Yeah,
4.
Well, I don't know. Maybe built a little bit more.
Built in.
Because I don't really think that they were nefarious by a rule. They were businessmen. They were ruthless businessmen that wanted to make money as much as they can. The only reason they were coming up to assassinate them is because it wasn't going as planned. The whole thing of using them and incinerating them, which is bad enough, but now it might get out to people, and this was going to get out on Earth because people didn't know what was going on. So they were bad, and that wasn't really built up too much.
Yeah,
but I'm kind of glad they didn't spend a lot of time on that because I think the more interesting story was Sam Rockwell.
No, it was, but it just seems like towards the end, that was like the whole corporation coming, just them coming to check out the station. It just seemed like it switched gears when it was like mostly quiet character moments and that's not a bad thing, but I just felt like I said, like you even said, it could have been built in a little bit better, but it doesn't take away from the power of this movie.
Yeah, I couldn't believe, as I said, when I stopped it to watch it again, I said, how far am I in this movie? It was only like 40 minutes in. Yes. There's a lot of plot in this movie in 40 minutes.
They cover,
really
absolutely.
Pack a lot of stuff into it by the 40-minute mark. So Dylan, what was your score on overall?
I want to say, Zach, I have seen that movie, Prisoners, man. Absolutely fantastic.
Benny,
bro. Hugh Jackman. Woo, I love that's a movie.
Can't go wrong.
I've seen that movie quite a few times.
Paul Dano too, bro.
Yes, dude. That's why when I saw that he was gonna be the Riddler, I'm like, dude, he's got chops, man. That guy has range, man.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I would say I'm gonna give it a 4 because I think it has more. It could go. I would go up to a 4.25. I need to watch it again though, but I absolutely thought the music was incredible. Cinematography beautiful. Sam Rockwell just slayed it. What is it?
I keep forgetting his name. Kevin Spacey.
Kirby. What is the robot's name? Kirby.
Gertie.
Gertie.
Yeah, man, that is just, it's all great, man. I love those isolation films. It's I just love Sam Rockwell, man. He just knocked us out of the park, and this was earlier in his career, man. This wasn't like I would say it's closer to middle, but very early still in his career. I feel
he's still grinding,
really what he could really do, man. But like it was all him, man. This was all on his shoulders with a first-time director too, and I think he knew like
there's not too many of his movies.
I thought he aced it, man.
Yeah, especially for a movie where he, as you said, he was the main star, and that's not the case in most of his movies. He's a supporting actor.
He's usually famous,
but he showed he could carry a movie.
That's why I give that Poltergeist a little bit of a pass just because he's like a main
When
guy.
Was that more recent?
No, it was
like after this.
That was like 2014, maybe.
Oh, wasn't that?
Okay.
I got it over here.
Yo, let me say on the music real quick. I like it was very sparse in its instrument usage, which was cool because it kind of like evoked space, like just wide and empty, and how it was. Music was beautiful, man.
Yeah, but the main themes were really good. So
yeah.
So Two Gun like 3.5. He didn't like as much as we did.
Yeah, 2015.
Okay.
2015.
Okay.
I was
1 year away.
Hell yeah. No.
So I'm gonna say it's a 4.1. Great marks for a sci-fi indie film.
Absolutely.
No
First time director, one person cast for the most part.
Seriously, man.
Yeah, it could absolutely, Zach.
Yeah, man. It's. I mean, just for what Sam Rockwell and the cinematography and the music, it's a 4.
Well, he's one of those actors that if I see his name in a movie,
I'm gonna
watch it.
Yeah.
That's why
it's usually interesting.
He's done a lot more than I thought.
Yeah. But and the other thing too is this guy Duncan Jones, who's the son of David Bowie, was mostly known for doing commercials and music videos, and this was his first movie, and he did a phenomenal job for his first movie, and even the ones that maybe weren't as competent, like a Warcraft, they were done.
That's still so solid, bro.
Direction was still pretty solid in most of his other movies. So,
have you seen Source Code with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Source Code is a great movie.
That was it's not the best, but for a follow up to this, it shows like he got a bigger budget. Like you wouldn't tell that's someone's second movie. Like he had he's a very competent director.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see where he goes in the future.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So it should be pretty interesting. So that's pretty much our movie tonight. Moon, I tell you, I enjoyed finally being able to get to after 11 years. It's one of those movies that you see and you say, I gotta watch that one day. It's probably pretty good, and then you watch and you end up loving the movie. But there's a lot of those.
Yeah. It's the best.
So I'm glad it was something you guys enjoyed. I'm sure we will hit some stinkers along the way. But I don't know. I purposely have to try to pick a stinker because unless it's one I haven't watched, I don't. I tend to pick decent movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I definitely.
And we got some movies coming up actually for the rest of January. Now, one thing that I had forgotten was that January is one of those months that has 5 weeks in it. So we had only originally planned to have 4 weeks of movies, so we had to add a week. So the movies that are coming up. Let me get my list here.
Yeah, I usually like look at the calendar so I get the dates and everything when I'm like trying to go ahead of time at movies.
So next week, the 1951 version, The Thing from Another World, great movie. I don't know if you guys will like as much, but listen to the dialogue, man, because the dialogue is where that movie's at. And then immediately following that, the next week is The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Dimension.
Oh my God, I cannot wait. I've never seen
Wherever you go.
Also, you're going to have a movie where the same thing happens like in The Thing, overlapping dialogue, conversations all going on at the same time, at the same level. So watch both of those thinking that because they really have that in common. 123, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Throw a little sci-fi comedy horror in there. And filling in the end of the month where there was nothing, James Cameron's The Terminator. So we're doing that last movie of the month, Terminator 1.
Nice.
Yeah, make sure. Yeah, well, I'd say you should send the list out again in the chat just so we like in the group chat so we all can because sometimes I gotta screenshot that stuff. But man, Two Gun, man, word dude, 3.5. That's still good. At first, I wasn't thinking it was my cup of tea at first either because I was like, the pacing at first, and then really my girl kept walking in and out, so I kind of it's one it's one you gotta.
You have to watch.
You know what I mean? Sometimes, like I gotta start watching these. That's why I was like, I gotta get the screenshot of the movies because sometimes I wait till Monday. You know what I'm saying to watch it because it's like we got so much going on with work and everything, and then I really want to start giving it more like a
time to breathe.
I like to watch stuff twice when I review it, at least, especially when I can't get into like the behind the scenes and everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
You guys know I'm a big behind the scenes guy. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm always watching reviews after to hear other people's thoughts. So, I definitely am that type where I usually like to watch it at least twice. You know?
Oh yeah,
because the first time you got to absorb it, and,
Yeah.
because then they get your thoughts about it, and then
Yeah.
the second time you're going in with like a different understanding of
Well,
shit.
Yep.
I ask you guys for next week, keep a very open mind. Try to forget about the 1982 version of The Thing. This is not
It's
that.
been a long time since I've seen this one. I used to watch with my jiddu all the time.
This is not that, but it's a quintessential sci-fi film that really set the stage for a lot of other films, and it has some great scenes in it, and as I said, great overlapping dialogue. Yeah, there's some 50s stuff in it that get the girl in there just says gotta have a girl love relief, But I love the movie. But we'll see what you guys, whoever's here next week, think about it. So The Thing from Another World, starring our favorite Marshall Dillon, and we'll see what everybody thinks about that one. So I think actually Robbie is streaming tonight. I think he's doing his They Live tonight because he has it up on the station. So
oh okay. Oh damn.
I think is Robbie going tonight?
I thought it was the night.
No, he's
going next week. Okay, so next Monday night it will be The Thing from Another Planet. No, The Thing from Another World, and They Live at 9:00. So I hope you guys will tune in and watch that. It's gonna be a good show, I hope.
Great sci-fi movies.
And we got some good stuff. Well, I'm starting to map out in February. In February, the first 2 weeks is looking very diverse, and I hope you guys will like that. And then maybe maybe for February we'll actually we might even hold open the last week, and we'll take requests in the third week, and we'll do the last week, which is my birthday, February 28th. I think I don't know if it's gonna be on that day or not. But we'll take requests and we'll do the movie that everybody, the one that gets the most requests on that day. So should be interesting. So thank you guys for coming tonight. Steph, great having you again. Dylan, great breakdown on this movie. Very interesting one.
Dude, I agree. You guys, man, really kind of helped solidify some things I was stuck on, man. Steph, bro, you've been killing it lately, brother. For real.
Oh, man,
I feel like if sometimes you're a little quiet on the horror show, man. I've been loving seeing you really come out, bro. Like you really.
I'm learning from you guys on the horror show. That's I've watched sci-fi before. But
Dude, that's why I'm loving doing this with you, bro. Because I feel like now I'm able to kind of sit back and like listen to you, bro. And I've really been enjoying it, bro. And Scarpad always just got the knowledge for this and the horror, so. It's been great, sitting back and kind of listening to you guys, like just kind of get it. Because I love sci-fi. I always have. But there's just, some things I don't always pick up on, especially on my first one. I'm
same with me in horror, dog.
I think we're all that type of era where we grew up on VHS, the Blockbusters, the family store videos where we'd rent something. That's what we had all week long. You know what I'm saying?
Right, that's what we watched.
Over and over and over all week long,
Well, it was nice because you could rewind it, You grew up at a time you could rewind.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case back when some of these movies came out. You watched them, you missed it. Oh, well.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You're not watching on home video, so.
I know. Or, man, we're hitting the record button and then trying to hit it real quick when the commercial comes.
Or even going up on YouTube and being able to watch.
fucking the whole thing up, bro. Like,
going up on YouTube and being able to watch every movie you want to watch, so. It's a different era now, so.
Man, I love marking my tapes and everything, bro.
God. We'll see you guys all next week for The Thing from Another World. Until then, you all stay safe. Happy New Year. Happy 2023.
Oh, hold on before you go, Zach. If you got Instagram, you can message me on there. If not, I could put my email down in the chat. But usually Instagram is the best way to message me. If not, I could send you my email. Or something, there's plenty of ways that you can hit me up, though. I'll put my email or Instagram in the chat. I don't know if Zach has Instagram, so I'll put my email down there.
And all you guys are like sci-fi, just a little drop you note too. Stay tuned. Me and Dylan will be doing Dylan and I will be doing a show on the Twilight Zone, the original Twilight Zone. We're going to review all 5 years, and we're going to do 4 episodes a show, and then we're going to review them, talk about them, and then say which one we like the best for that night. That'll be Monday nights, I believe, right around 8:00 or so. probably coming about mid-month, around the 13th. So stay tuned for that. Dylan, you have anything to say about that show?
Which show? Oh, the Twilight Zone. Yeah, dude, that one's gonna be a damn blast. I got freaking intros and thumbnails getting worked on. So look out for. Hey, we should have some promotion coming this week on the horror show. Which, bro, we're kicking it off with a goddamn banger on the horror show this Saturday.
2 bangers, aren't we?
It's gonna be a banger. I don't have the first one, but I got this beautiful cover.
Oh,
Terrifier 1 and 2 double feature, man. It's gonna be a blast. Any of you Terrifier fans, come on in, man. Come Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
I know there's
and come back us up because Robbie, for some reason, don't like you. we need everyone to
there's
come.
gonna be some discerning impressions.
confused.
Of both of those movies. And then it doesn't get much better from there on out. The next week, I think we're going to have a few more. So there's a couple good weeks coming up on Dylan's horror show.
Man, I'm super excited for the Twilight Zone. Maybe once in a blue moon we'll get a guest on there if there's a special episode that Robbie or something loves, But for the most part, that will be me and just Scarpad. Because I don't know, not too many people I've heard, in the horror group said anything about the Twilight Zone.
Well,
but that was one of me and Scarpad.
That and the fact that we want to get the thing out in under an hour. So
yeah, that too. We're trying to keep it at even like 45 minutes. We'll be doing like 4 episodes.
In fact,
until we get to 4 episodes. The first couple.
The fourth season only is hour longs. And then we'll do 2. And then we'll see how that goes, and then maybe we'll even do the 80s one after that. We'll see how it goes. 80s one, I understand, is pretty good. I haven't seen a lot of those, so that would be interesting.
Dude, and I got a thumbnail for the Twilight Zone movie, and man,
Twilight Zone movie, but we will be passing on the Jordan Peele.
Eventually we might. But eventually, the Twilight Zone movie, that one we'll do is like a group or something, on the horror show.
I didn't know that.
You will mainly be doing that because
we could even do it as a group on the Twilight Zone show. That'd be an interesting way to do it.
Oh yeah. Either way, man.
All right, guys. We're gonna check out of here. This has actually been the longest show because Robbie's not on tonight. So, thank everybody for coming on. Hope you had a great night. Come back here next week for the thing. Until then, have a good New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, y'all. Love you, man. See you this Saturday.